Okay, so here we go. This is the moment I've been waiting for the past couple of weeks. This is the new Creality LD-002R, which is Creality's new resin printer. How fantastic is that? We really can't open this up all we can, but I've been thrilled to do it. So what we're going to do is crack on and see what the lovely people at Banggood, that's BANGGOOD.com, have sent over to us. So, without further ado, look at this. Okay, so first off, we get all the bits and bobs. As you often expect, we got some US power supply. I really hate it when people provide the US power supplies. It's very unhelpful, but I'm sure we can work around that with a screwdriver. And we got other bits and pieces, kind of thing you might expect getting a 3D printer. Look at that. Okay, so we got some cleaning bits and pieces, some scraping off bits and pieces, and some screwing things together bits and pieces, including a 16 gig USB memory stick, some disposable latex gloves. I hear the resin can be a bit funky on your hands. We got some kind of cute little, I might wear those when I'm out around town, and some other bits and bobs. Good. Okay, we got some release film. Hopefully Matt can tell me what all this stuff is for before it all goes horribly wrong. I'm getting into the much more exciting bit now. La pièce de la résistance, the printer. Oh my God, look at that, how exciting. So I think this is quite a new device. We've got a range of 3D printers already here at DoES Liverpool. If you look over there, we've got a Creality, that's a CR10S that we use quite a lot with PLA. It doesn't work quite so well for us with ABS. PLA works well. We've also got a smaller unit to the right of that over there, which is a Creality Ender-3, which is mine. We got Matt's got one of those as well. He does all sorts of excellent work with. But the thing is with the PLA, you know, you get some good results, but you still see the artifacts of the layering as the filament is deposited layer after layer after layer. So, having seen some of the excellent work that the guys here were getting done with resin printers, I've been really keen to have a go at this myself for some time. Look at that. I got the orange enclosure, which I'm told is because it's resin. Which we've got here, we got some 500 ml of grey UV sensitive resin. What you need is the enclosure to be not transmitting through the wavelengths of light that are going to cure this stuff. Otherwise you just end up with a block of resin that's all rock hard and absolutely useless. So that's why we got the funky colour on this. Not interesting, got some more stuff in here. It looks like the build plate to me. It's going to kind of rise up like so. Interesting. That's probably another one. So what we've got here is, if you look at this, I'm going to do that a little bit later. This is the, basically, as far as I can see, this is going to be like a mobile phone screen that each layer of the image is exposed onto. And then what's going to happen is, there's a sort of resin vat that sits here on top of that, and then our build plate is going to lift up and up and up, and we're literally going to pull that print out of that vat of resin. It's getting partially cured as it goes along. It's going to be kind of cool. So okay, what I'm going to do is set that up now, and I'll be back with you for the first print, okay? Okay, so I've been through, this printer comes pre-leveled and pre-calibrated. Most important thing is that the plate here is just touching down on the screen at the base so that it can begin to lift off correctly. Now, that looks okay to me. That looks pretty good. That looks to be doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. So the next steps are for us to load in the resin into the container vat so that we can get ready to do some printing. So, safety first, obviously. What I'm going to do is just put on my latex gloves because I believe that the resin we're using can be a bit of an irritant. Let's just do that. Okay, very good. And then left hand. Okay. Wow, very good. Right then, so what we'll do is we'll continue to just sort of raise up this. Now look at that. The touchscreen doesn't particularly like me having the latex gloves on, so there's 0.1. Maybe that's a capacitive touchscreen, I don't know. We'll have to have a look. Now what we can see is, if we look at the front of the vat here, there's like 4 marked levels, and they correspond to different, different volumes of resin. So they start at 140 mil, 170, 225, then up to 285 at the top. Now, I don't think that we're going to be using an enormous amount of resin for our test print. So what I'm going to go 500 mil to go with of this anycubic gray resin. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to fill up to the lowest of those 4 markers and see how it goes with that. So here we go. Going in. Look at that. Beautiful. Just let it spread out a little bit. Relatively viscous. Okay, nearly there. And okay, so we've just hit that marker. Just gonna close this off. Okie dokie. And there we go. So, next. What I'm now gonna do is the head back from our head movement. Push it a little bit harder now that I've got these gloves on, and go back to what we were looking at the printing. Remember that? We're going to try and print this Eiffel Tower. So, you ready? Let's give it a go. Head's coming down. You see the USB LED flashes as it accesses data. Giving us a countdown, how far we're through this now. We're just getting started. Too early for it to estimate how long it's going to take. You see the head's gone down into the resin now. Look at that. Okay. Okay. And now we're starting to print. So let's get our UV cover on. And off we go. So I think what we're doing here, I think we're seeing the layering as it goes through each individual slice of this resin print that we're putting together for the Eiffel Tower. Now if you think of what the Eiffel Tower looks like, it's 3 big pillars, isn't it? So what we're seeing there is the 4 base pillars at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower. That's what I think anyway. So, it's at 1%. Wow, that's a long time. Look at that. It thinks it's going to take about 16, 17 hours to do. How fantastic is that? So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to leave this running and see how it goes. Okay, so we're 19¼ hours on now, and as you can see, we've actually had quite a lot of success. It's really good. So we've got a first resin print here at DoES Liverpool, and somewhat surprisingly, that seems to have come out really, really nicely. It's pretty straightforward, really, especially when you compare it to sort of first attempts at PLE filament printing. So here we go then. So I'm going to put some gloves on because this stuff is all a bit icky, this resin, it's a little bit toxic. So I'm going to try and take the lid off here. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of resin left in the tray down here as well, so that's pretty cool because we haven't put an enormous amount in to start with, so we seem to be getting through it. The next thing is, how are we going to remove this from the mount at the top? Maybe what I'm going to do is just try and unscrew that. A little bit easier to try to remove and pull that off. And there we go. Look at that, isn't that nice? Wow, fantastic. Maker's making. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can sort of gently dislodge this, see what happens. Well, that's a kind of funny feel to it. And that's quite well bonded on, so what I'm going to try and do is just scrape it off instead. Wow, that is really well bonded on. Okay. Okay, so give me 5 minutes. I'm going to find something sharp and I'm going to see if I can get it off. Okay, so I've taken a scalpel to it now to get these off. It's really well bonded. One of the things that we've been told as a tip is it's better to have a smaller point of contact at the base here so it's easier to remove. So that's something we'll know for the next time. But here, I just about managed to dislodge this. Just got one more corner to go. Let's try that. This resin's a strange thing. Let's just try it. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. And we've got one Eiffel Tower. Isn't that nice? So, next steps with this, what we've got to do is, you can see there's this kind of wet resin residue on top of the entire structure, so we need to remove that. And the recommendation is to use isopropyl alcohol for that purpose. I have some here to hand. And essentially what you need to do is just bathe the item in the alcohol, which will remove the covering. I mean, you can go the whole hog here, you can get an ultrasonic bath, and you know, that's a better way of doing it apparently, but we're just learning as we go along now, so. So what I'm going to do is just to leave this soaking in the isopropyl alcohol for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll see what we've got. Okay, so I've just been dunking and shaking this around and cleaning it off for a few minutes. We could take a toothbrush to it and clean it out a little bit finer, but for this first pass I think that's probably really what I want to achieve. Now again, with these resin prints you can take a blade to it and cut off any extra bits and pieces that need to be removed, but quite frankly I think that's looking absolutely amazing. So the next step is, this is a UV curable resin, so to finish it off and harden it up, what we would do is we'd normally put it under some kind of UV light. There's different ways of doing it. There are more expensive professional setups that you can use. A lot of people are using UV nail curing boxes. They're the kind that you might find in the kind of makeup places. Now I don't have one of those to hand. Our next plan is that we're going to build up a UV curing box here at DoES Liverpool, so watch out for a video on that. But in the meantime, what we can do is we can just leave this on a windowsill, and I haven't got a great deal of sun at the moment, but as the sun comes out on a sunny day, we'll find that the sun just kind of cures this gently and slowly. So what I'll do is take you over to the other side of the building. This is is a delightful workspace here at DoES Liverpool. You'll have to come and visit us sometime soon, I hope. And then what we'll do is we'll just leave these down here. And we'll leave this to cure in the sun. Come back to it maybe tomorrow and see how it's looking. But I tell you what, for a first print, that's been really surprisingly very easy. And I'm looking forward to doing some more prints now. So here at DoES Liverpool, we've got quite a range of different technologies that people can use that come along. As you see, we've got the resin printer. We have laser cutters, we have 3D filament printers, all manner of interesting things. Sublimation printers, CNC machines. And this is all open to the public, so if you want to come along and you want to have a go at any of this, feel free to see us on Maker Night, which is every Thursday evening from about 7 o'clock. It's every Thursday evening. No charge, just come along, come and say hello. You see a lot of people working on their own projects. Similarly, we have a Maker Day, which is the second Saturday of every month. Same deal, come along for the day, experiment, play, come and say hello to us. We look forward to seeing you.